Oh, I don't know about you, but folks, that was an entertaining show. NXT Takeover in your house is done, and we've got ourselves a new NXT Women's Champion, Io Shirai. Congratulations, girl. That is amazing. Like, honestly, the show was really, really good, and it was really well done from start to finish. But for those of you who don't know me, my name is Conman167, and this is the very first time we are doing a wrestling fan reaction. Now, if you guys watch the Toronto Maple Leafs at all, you may have heard of a man named Steve Dangle. I've been following Steve for a long time. Actually, I watched his videos back when I was in university. And to be quite honest, I really liked them. I thought they were solid videos, and I became a massive fan of Steve Dangle. For about like 3 or 4 years there, I don't think I missed one of his videos. He was one of those channels that I had notifications turned on for, and I just loved every little thing that he did. So now I was kind of just sitting around and I was thinking, like, how can I do a reaction review video for wrestling? And then it kind of dawned on me. Let's do a wrestling fan reaction in homage of Steve Dangle's LFR. Now, Steve, man, if you don't want anybody replicating your series idea, I totally understand. But dude, it's a great idea, and if you happen to watch this, I'd be honored if, well, hopefully you give me some blessing to do the wrestling fan reaction. If not, screw you, it's a free country. And yes, I'm Canadian. But all joking aside, let's talk about NXT Takeover in your house, because once again, this show was phenomenal. I don't think any of the matches on the card didn't belong. Even matches like Finn Bálor versus Damian Priest that didn't have that much substance to it belonged here tonight. Now, I know a lot of people had that nostalgia feeling while they were watching in your house. I personally didn't have it. I'm only 25 years old and I didn't start watching wrestling till 2005. So I didn't really have that same nostalgic feeling. I didn't have I don't know, the oh my god, the in your house moment. Yes, I'm watching in your house. Nah, for me, it was like, oh cool, I get to see my first ever in your house live. But then we transition right to the start of the show, and we've got ourselves some headbanging music from Code Orange. My initial reaction was probably something along the lines of, but then it turned into, and now my neck is really sore. Clearly, I didn't have my headbanging days, and I'm feeling it today. Like, seriously, I need some, like, icy hot or something like that. But anyways, first match begins. It's Shotzi Blackheart, Tegan Nox, and Mia Yim versus Candice LeRae, Dakota Kai, and Raquel González. This match honestly had everything that it needed. It presented Shotzi Blackheart as an up-and-coming star. It presented Candice LeRae as this weird yet interesting heel. I don't know, is it working for you guys? Because for me, I think the Poison Pixie gimmick doesn't have a ton of legs, if I'm being honest. I think that it's probably going to result in a face turn in the future. You know, I really can't see them keeping Candice LeRae as a heel for too long. But I guess right now, you know, it's something for Candice. I'm not in love with it, but at the end of the day, you know, it gets her in the ring against some up-and-coming babyface stars, which, you know, we can't complain about. Raquel González, on the other hand, she was compared by Beth Phoenix to the ninth wonder of the world, China. Let's be careful on those references. She's a tall girl with power. That's where the resemblances stop. To even compare Raquel González to China at this point in her career is putting a label on her that she doesn't need. China is quite literally one of the most impressive superstars to ever step foot in the WWE. And if you start putting that pressure on someone like Raquel González this early in her career when she's not even out of her first feud, it's not good. You can't be doing that to her. You can't put that type of pressure. And so Beth Phoenix, I understand what you were trying to do, but let's tone that back a little bit. Let's bring that back, okay? Let's just tone down the unnecessary comparisons when somebody is new in their career. Dakota Kai and Tegan Nox, on the other hand, I want to see them fight forever. Those two have so much chemistry between each other, and they actually have a story that you can sink your teeth into. So overall, you know, the match was really fun. It was good. A 6-woman tag team match. I mean, WWE has 6-man/woman matches down pat. They honestly just have a formula for it. You know, at this point, they go in there, they do a couple tags, the baby faces get beaten down, the heels dominate them the entire matchup. There's some sort of suicide dive, there's some sort of big leap off the top rope, and of course, this match had all of that. Don't get me wrong, very entertaining, but very cookie cutter. I especially like the 450 splash from Tegan Nox off the top rope to everybody down at the bottom. Sure, they were waiting there for her. All right, I will give you guys that one. But Tegan, honestly, she nailed that 450 and she landed it perfectly. I don't think she put anybody at risk when she delivered a 450 down to like the 5 people below. I think she nailed it. She did good with that, and it was a great little spot in the matchup. But I kind of had like one weird thought during this matchup. You know, when you've got the star power of a Tegan Nox, a Dakota Kai in there, a Candice LeRae, you would think that they would overshadow somebody, say, Mia Yim, who really doesn't have that much of a story going for her other than her rivalry with Candice LeRae. Tonight, I'm going to go ahead and say that Mia Yim was the star of the match, and I don't know how I got out of that match thinking that, because she didn't have any crazy spots, she didn't have any outlandish moments, but the one thing that got me was how she was protected during the match. Nobody got much offense on her, she wasn't the one selling, and then she had a brawl with Candice LeRae that led to the back, that pulled her off of the screen and didn't even involve her in the finish of the match. They did that so that it made you want to see Mia Yim brawl with Candice LeRae more. And honestly, for me, it worked. I think Mia Yim is the star of the matchup as she came out of that. Like I said, I think she's really good. And Mia Yim, you know, she's well on her way to potentially becoming another challenger for the NXT Women's Championship. Honestly, wouldn't be surprised to see Mia Yim get a shot at Io Shirai. One final note during this matchup, though, Tegan Nox and Shotzi Blackheart need to become a tag team. The chemistry that they showed in the ring in the final few moments of that match was undeniable. They had great chemistry. You need to put them in there as a tag team, and maybe, you know, they could be good challengers to somebody like the Boss and Hug Connection, Bayley and Sasha Banks. Maybe they come down to NXT with those tag team titles. Maybe Shotzi and Tegan get a shot at them. Who knows? Anyways, Tegan Nox hits the shiniest of wizards on Dakota Kai for the 1, 2, 3, and that was all she wrote. The babyfaces pick up the win in this match. On to the second match, Finn Balor versus Damian Priest. You know, this match going in, I think it was probably everybody's least built up. Even though there was a story there, it wasn't must-see by any means. It was clearly just a match to try to get Finn Balor over. That's okay. I think Damian Priest does kind of run into some struggles here within the WWE. He's a character that is similar to Baron Corbin in many senses, you know, with how he is presented, especially how he was presented in NXT. And as a result, you're going to have a lot of people making the comparisons to Baron Corbin, and people don't like Baron Corbin, so naturally they're not going to like Damian Priest. Even though Damian Priest is a completely different character, he's a martial artist in a way. He's an expert with his feet. You can't say that about Baron Corbin. So they're two very different performers. This match, though, once again, it was completely designed to get Finn Balor over. It was not meant to try to get Damian Priest over. Anyways, fast start to the match. I liked Balor's intensity. I liked the way he took the fight right to Damian Priest. Priest gained control by tossing Finn Balor in the steel steps, and then it was pretty much just a normal match for the rest of, like, whatever it was, like the 10 minutes that they wrestled. There was only two things that really stood out to me in this matchup. The first one, that Damian Priest needs to use the flatliner as his finisher. When he hoisted him up with the flatliner and just was like, whoop, boom. My neighbors aren't going to like that. I really stomped on the floor hard. When he hit that flatliner, I thought to myself, like, this needs to be his finishing move. And two was obviously the steel stair bump. Somehow Damian Priest walked out of there without cracking his back. I honestly don't know how he did it. I really don't. I think there was some gimmicks to the steel steps. I did kind of see like a little padding on it. I thought, wasn't 100% sure, but I thought I saw some padding. And he hit hard. So Priest, thanks for taking that bump for our entertainment. But dude, that was really nasty. Anyways, Balor then hit the coup de grace for the 1, 2, 3, and he picks up the win and sets a record for 11 wins at NXT Takeovers, the most out of anybody. Now, Keith Lee versus Johnny Gargano. You can argue this was match of the night, and I think you would get a lot of people that support you with that argument. The intro was really cool. I liked how it transitioned from the promo segments they were talking about to Johnny Gargano in the house. But my main question was, what the hell was Johnny wearing? Like it looked like a cape you would get your 2-year-old for Halloween. It looked like he just took a towel and he went, I got a cape. So then Johnny Gargano puts a key in his pants as well, because that's what a guy who has a towel for a cape does. Just full on lifts his pants open and drops the key in there, because that's safe to wrestle with. Now on the flip side of things, Keith Lee came out with Black Lives Matter posted all over his trunks and his jacket. And just want to make it clear once again, this channel stands with Black Lives Matter. Go Keith Lee. So Big Daddy Keith walks into this match, and it's been made aware to us that he's got himself a couple of injuries he has to deal with. First up, he's got a scratched cornea, which I believe they explained how it happened. I was not listening, so I honestly don't know how it happened. And the second injury that Keith Lee has was a couple of bruised fingers thanks to Johnny Gargano kicking his hand into the steel steps. Both of these injuries would come into play during the match. So Gargano started the match off by immediately going for his eye, because of course Johnny Gargano did that. Why? Because he's mean. Didn't really faze Keith Lee though. He showed off his power multiple times, lifting Gargano with one arm, lifting him up into a powerbomb position multiple times, catching him, but Gargano found a way to get out of nearly every single move Keith Lee had. At one point though, Gargano said, "Peace out, homie, I'm gone. See ya, bye." And Keith Lee was like, no. So yeah, as Gargano was trying to run away, Keith Lee caught up to him, basically told him, nah, you're not going anywhere, brought him back towards the ring. One thing that was really cool during that time, though, was the different camera angle that was used. And I'd actually like to see WWE start using more interesting camera angles during their matches. Now, of course, with all the plexiglass set up around the side, I was asking myself, how long until somebody goes through the glass? Well, not very long. Johnny Gargano got sent, man. Like full on, just launched through the glass. Like Keith Lee almost killed Johnny wrestling. Now, as a Canadian, this was needed. All right, I know we don't see it happen very often in hockey, but I'm missing hockey right now during this pandemic, and seeing somebody go through the glass made me happy, okay? By the way, Johnny Gargano's selling is top notch. Like, it is one of the best out there. Every time I watch one of his matches, I'm literally questioning, is he hurt? Like, is he hurt? And the answer always ends up being no, Johnny Gargano isn't hurt. He's just selling. He's making you believe that he's hurt. And that's such a special thing that Johnny Gargano has in his repertoire. Towards the end of the match, Candice LeRae and Mia Yim continued their brawl at ringside, which continues to further the aspect that they're trying to get Mia Yim over as a top-tier star, a believable star. And this eventually allowed Johnny Gargano to use the key and stab Keith Lee in the eye. Ah! It was nasty, dude. Ugh. Like, literally skin crawling. I was like, oh my god, this is so tough to watch. It was almost as tough to watch when Randy Orton put the screwdriver through the ear of Jeff Hardy and started twisting it. It was that uncomfortable. But then it was followed up by a couple of super kicks that Keith Lee managed to kick out of every single one. Keith Lee was put over as a monster babyface as soon as he did that. The comeback began. Keith Lee hit the Spirit Bomb, hit a couple other power bombs, and followed it up with the Big Bang Catastrophe for the 1, 2, 3. Keith Lee is still North American champion. And now on to the fourth match. The Backlot Brawl. Adam Cole versus Velveteen Dream. I mean, this match had me excited beforehand, but it definitely didn't have that must-see feel. It probably stems from the fact that their match was built up just a couple of weeks ago, and that NXT Championship match ended with controversy. You know, we had already seen them face each other at this point, and there wasn't that... Again, that must-see feel of watching this match. Yeah, the cinematic aspect to it made it different enough to be enjoyable while watching, but it also was difficult to follow. You know, at points it just seemed like there was spots happening just for the sake of doing a spot. And as funny as that Uber driver was, what was the point of it? Yeah, all in all, this match wasn't for me, and I know that there was a lot of people out there that really did enjoy it, but for me, this match just didn't really feature everything that I needed it to. And honestly, it fell a little short. Regardless, Velveteen Dream came out looking like Negan from The Walking Dead, and the dude looked like a badass. Like, I would actually like it if that was Velveteen Dream's actual attire moving forward. He looked amazing. I will point out one spot, though, that I really thought was necessary to showing how tough Adam Cole is, was him going through the windshield. I think it was very important for Adam Cole's championship run to have a moment that established him as being able to get the job done by himself. Yes, I know the Undisputed Era did get involved in this match, but Dexter Lumis was there to pull them away and allow the match to resume a one-on-one affair. It was a statement win from Adam Cole, and there really is no two other ways to look at it. But regardless, Adam Cole retained the title, and Velveteen Dream did look like a badass. Unfortunately for Velveteen Dream, there really is no new direction for him out of this. This was the last time he's supposed to be facing Adam Cole for the NXT Championship. So I honestly don't know what they do with Velveteen Dream next. If he's getting called up, well, maybe that was his final appearance in NXT. Maybe. I don't know. Now, speaking of Dexter Lumis, though, also, we've already got a kidnapping storyline going on. Why do we need to? I mean, I'm not against it, but I'm also not for it. What do you guys think? Let me know down in the comments section below. What do you think they're doing with Dexter Lumis in the Undisputed Era? Are they really building towards Dexter Lumis versus Adam Cole? Now on to our second last match of the evening, Karrion Kross versus Tommaso Ciampa. Now, if you guys were watching the stream, you would have heard me say that this match needs to be similar to John Cena versus Brock Lesnar from SummerSlam 2014. It needed to be an absolute squash match to establish Karrion Kross as a legitimate threat to everyone in NXT. They did just that. This was perfect, folks. I don't know any other way to label it. It was truly perfect. Except for all of the live fans in attendance chanting, "Fall and pray, fall and pray, fall and pray." Could you have sound more uninterested in this superstar in front of you? Fall and pray. They couldn't even chant in unison. Some of the people were going, "Fall and pray, fall and pray." And the other half were going, "Fall and pray." That might have been the worst thing that happened at NXT Takeover in your house. Fall and pray? More like fall and shut up. Anyways, Ciampa was still presented as a badass. He was left fighting till the bitter end, but he eventually passed out to the cross jacket submission move by Karrion Kross. It's a rear naked choke with a body scissors. We've seen it time and time again inside of the WWE, but it looks effective for him as a finishing move. Really nothing else needs to be said about that match. Karrion Kross is here. Now for the main event. Charlotte Flair versus Io Shirai versus Rhea Ripley. Before this match even began, you could tell it was going to be a big deal. It felt like something big was going to happen because it was the main event. And as a result, I was glued to the TV screen for the entirety of this matchup. We had also yet to have a title change on this show, so it made sense that this could very well be the title change. I was really skeptical that they were going to take the title off of Charlotte Flair this early in her run. Remember, she just won it back at WrestleMania. But it had that feel. There was that sense of danger for Charlotte that she was losing the title, and, you know, it made for must-see TV. All three of these women belonged in the main event. There is no question about it. They built up this match and they lived up to the hype. Great job, ladies. Now for me, I know I said that you could argue Johnny Gargano versus Keith Lee as match of the night, but for me, this was clearly match of the night. Regardless of the few botches that may have been inside of this match, I think the storytelling was there, the drama was there, and the sense of unpredictability was there. It was not easy to predict how this match was going to go. Also, Charlotte's star power is so apparent here in NXT. People reject her. They reject the queen, but she steps foot in that ring, and all of a sudden, all eyes are on her. Through association, she made Rhea Ripley a bigger star, and through association, she made Io Shirai a bigger star. She commanded the attention in this match, and that's how you can tell if you have a true megastar on your hands or not. But yeah, the match was filled with incredible spots. I personally loved the natural selection on Io Shirai. I loved the way that it was set up. The double knees into the corner followed by the natural selection. Great maneuver. The Avalanche Riptide, the callback to her winning the NXT Championship off of Shayna Baszler. That was a really cool spot. And of course, Charlotte Flair bringing the kendo stick back once again, making it pretty much her signature weapon at this point. The finish of the match was incredibly well thought out. It was a spear that led into the figure 8 leg lock from Charlotte Flair on Rhea Ripley, but it gave Io Shirai all the time in the world to scale up to the top rope, turn her back to her opponents, and hit the most beautiful moonsault in all of wrestling for the 1, 2, 3. And just like that, Io Shirai has captured her first ever NXT Women's Championship. Now, I know what a lot of people are focusing on. They're focusing on the fact that Io's knee came down and it hit Rhea Ripley right on the top of the head. Io Shirai has such a good track record when it comes to being a safe worker. I don't think anybody has to worry about that. It was a tough position to be in to try to hit that moonsault while the leg lock was locked in, and unfortunately her shin did connect just by the face of Rhea Ripley. Regardless, an incredible finish to the match, and Io Shirai is now the new NXT Women's Champion. All in all, the show was good. It was really entertaining. It was a solid few hours to sit there and watch wrestling. Takeovers have a way of making you want to see more. There was only 6 matches, but I felt like if there was any more, the matches wouldn't have mattered as much. NXT does an amazing job at making less mean more. Overall, this event will go down as being an event that thought outside of the box, tried a few different things, tried to bring back nostalgia, and honestly was successful. Solid pay-per-view, and I give it an 8 out of 10. So yeah, that was our first ever WFR Wrestling fan reaction for NXT Takeover In Your House 2020. I really hope you guys enjoyed this style of video, and once again, massive shout out to Steve Dangle with his LFR The Leafs fan reaction for being the inspiration behind the series. But that is it for me. Thank you very much for watching. Make sure you leave a like on this video, also making sure you are subscribed. And yeah, NXT Takeover In Your House was a success, and next week we are going to be covering the greatest wrestling match ever, Backlash. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a wonderful day.